Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will talk to you about the problems of your lemon trees grown in pots. Why isn't the lemon tree blooming? It blooms, but the flowers fall off, or it doesn't bear any fruit. Let's watch these problems together. First, you should make sure that the lemon sapling you purchased is grafted. There are also lemon saplings grown from seeds without grafting. Many of us have obtained saplings from lemon seeds. It is uncertain when these saplings grown from seeds will bear lemons. In fact, a sapling grown from a seed may also produce a hybrid fruit. It might not even produce any fruit at all. The lemon sapling you purchased. Even if it is grafted, it might not bear fruit due to its variety. For example, it takes at least 2 years for an Aden lemon to bear fruit. How can we tell if a sapling has been grafted? As you can see here, it has a hump-like structure. The sapling grown from a seed forms the lower part. That is, the part with the root. A scion from another lemon is grafted onto this part. Grafts like bud grafting are applied. If the graft, applied on top, is an Aden lemon, as I mentioned, you cannot get the product before 2 years. But if you buy Haute Mer or ever-bearing lemon varieties, this problem will be eliminated. However, the Meyer lemon is the only lemon variety that the Mediterranean fruit fly lays eggs on, causing damage in the process. I believe this problem can be solved with medication. This lemon tree you see here is also from the seedlings we grew from seeds at home. So, what about them? This is how they look, approximately 10 years later. When we examine the branches, some have flowers, while others do not. Some also fall off before turning into fruit. Actually, the upper branches of this lemon tree also need to be pruned and grafted. The grafting types I mentioned earlier can be applied to this as well. To do this, we need to bring a branch from another tree that bears lemons. But when they cut this tree to graft, if they graft these remaining branches onto the saplings you purchased, you won't be able to get the product either. I'm not saying every nursery does this, but when you buy a sapling, make sure to see that it has fruit on it. It's better if you buy it by seeing that it has fruit, not just flowers. Look, this lemon tree is also about 35 years old. They harvest lemons from it. So when you ask if we can get a product from a lemon tree grown from seed, yes, you can get it from this one. This is a 35-year-old tree. This tree produces lemons and they are very juicy. Everyone is pleased with it. But 35 years is not easy. I would prefer grafting. No fertilization process is applied to this tree. It doesn't have any special watering either. In other words, no one is watering it with a hose. It is only watered from rain to rain. Yet, it still doesn't hold back from bearing fruit. We need to be very careful about the pollination of the lemons we grow at home, that is, in pots. In other words, if there is no pollination, there will be no fruit. And if you are growing it in an enclosed space, you need to take it outside during flowering time for pollination. If you get the chance to take it outdoors, then after the flowers bloom, touch the flowers, one by one with a cotton swab. So, you need to do the pollination yourself. Perform this process delicately. This method will help in the pollination of the flowers. Here with tomato flowers, I am showing you how to do it. So, in this way, you need to touch the pollen you collected from outside back to the tip. In a mixed manner, all of it will stick to the cotton on the tip of this ear swab. All the pollen. Make sure to touch all the edges and tips of the flowers. If you want to see how this process is done more professionally in detail, I recommend watching the video linked above. What we actually want to do here, just as bees or the wind facilitate pollination between these flowers, we are trying to achieve this artificially. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, what do you need to do to get produce from your potted lemon? We are talking about those. So if your lemon is a Yedi Veren or Maya variety but still doesn't bear fruit, meaning your lemon doesn't bloom, you need to encourage it to flower. The method for this is actually quite simple. For example, when you see a sapling with a lot of flowers like this, personally I wouldn't buy it because it's obvious that this is a treated sapling. You can also see the other plants growing in its soil here. Most likely, fungus has developed and they have treated it with chemicals. As I mentioned earlier, buy the sapling with fruit, not the one with flowers. Yes, what did we say? If our sapling is not blooming, you need to apply fertilizer to your saplings in the summer. To make it bloom, you need to mix fertilizer into the soil. Additionally, you should apply fertilizer to the leaves using a spray bottle. So, what should the ratio be? If the lemon sapling is 1 year old, 100 grams to the soil. If the sapling is 2 years old, 200 grams. In other words, an additional 100 grams of fertilizer should be given for each year of age. Fertilizer with a high phosphorus and potassium content should be given to the soil. Fertilization from the leaves should focus on zinc and boron. Of course, as we always prefer, if you want to apply natural fertilizer, you can opt for bat guano or worm castings. You can apply the liquid form of this fertilizer to the leaves and the powdered form to the soil. If you cannot obtain these, you can use the natural fertilizer mixture, the link of which you will see at the end of the video. You can use it. I especially repeat, during the blooming period in the spring, you should apply organic fertilizers containing phosphorus. After the fruit has formed, I recommend applying fertilizers with nitrogen and potassium. So, how should we water our lemon tree? Every day or intermittently? Water every 3-4 days depending on the environment? Pouring an average of 1.5 glasses of water into the pot is sufficient. The soil's moisture? Check, according to your environment. If you overwater your sapling, the fruits will fall off like this. Now let's check the soil. We will determine if it is moist. Normally, the top of the soil should be a bit dry, but the top of this soil is also wet. Either it has been watered too much or it has been watered recently. So, if the soil in your pot is like this, definitely do not water it. At the very least, the top should be dry. Look, this is also wet in the same way. So, if the soil in our pot is like this, we definitely do not water it. For example, when we look at the seedlings on this side, see that all their soil is dry. Normally, it should be like this. It should be dry. The bottom part of the soil needs to be moist. You can check this by sticking your finger into the soil. If it is moist, we will not water it. How are we going to do this? Now I will show you that as well. If you want to get better yield, you can water with the spray Bope once a week to your seedlings. Now let's see what the bottom of this soil looks like. Here, the top part of the soil is dry. We will already insert our finger into the soil up to the second knuckle, and if the soil underneath is moist, we do not water. Look, the soil in this pot is not peat either. If you notice, if you are planting lemon in your pot, definitely do not use peat soil. There is normal garden soil or loose soil sold at florists. In fact, there are soils mixed with cow manure and such. Those are even better. You can use those, but as I said, definitely do not use peat soil bought from the market for lemons. Finally, there is one more thing that needs to be done. Let me tell you that as well. Generally, in February, when the fruit on the lemon tree is finished, pruning should be done to encourage the growth of more lush branches. We have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please click like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and activate the bell up to watch the next videos.